Yes, rested, fed and watered, ready to go. We've got a big day, we've got a tight schedule today, we've got a lot of work to do. You guys have a lot of work done, I'm going to do a lot of work. But I hope you had a fun day yesterday. Did everyone have a good day? Yeah, good. All right, good. So we've got some great, exciting stuff again today. We're going to, Adrian, you'd like to come out on stage? Bring Adrian out again.
How are you? Did you have a good night?
Yeah.
Good sleep?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's good. So we're going to do, Adrian's going to do a haircut on a pre-done colour, and I'm going to do a colour on a pre-done haircut that Adrian's done. And we've got a couple of little sneak ones that are going to come out a little later. Just a little bit, just while you're here to show you some of our lovely stuff that we've done. So let's bring our models out on stage and we can talk through what we're going to do. Cool. Okay, you're very high.
We're going down.
Adrian is tall. So, I'm going to talk, this is Adrian's already pre-cut this, and I'm going to work colour in to this hair here for me. And we discovered lovely this morning that we have, what's the name of your hair? Penny, which is henna. We have.
So when you talk about honey, it's a drink, baby, not not good.
So we've done a quick gentle cleanse on this morning. Just it was actually, it was really, you could hardly tell that I was just like, my tummy was going, this does look like so we did a little bit of gentle cleanse. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with Adrian's cut today, and we're going to use Noah. And I'm going to work in a panel system, working forward. So I really want to bring out his lovely haircut that he's done. He'll talk you through his shape. So I'm going to work in horseshoe shapes. I'm going to do 3 horseshoes with a feature panel in the front, okay? And we're going to work above the occipital bone, curved line above the occipital bone. And this here I'm going to keep darker, because I want to really accentuate the cut and add some depth into the back, so that really bring that out. And this will be, do we have our formulas? Yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go, sorry. Name area, so it's going to be a Noah, 420 and 10 volt. Okay, so I just really want to just deposit a bit of colour, don't lift it, I just want to get some nice lift through there. Then I'm going to do another horseshoe section, working just below the crown, coming forward. And as I section, you'll be able to see a little bit more. And that one will be 562 and 20 volt. We'll do that with 20 volt through there. So that will give me just one shade reflect, different reflect. So just to spunk it up a little bit through there. And I'm going to have a feature panel in here because we've got a long piece. Amy's got a really long piece here, feature piece, and we want to have some really soft bits falling over the fringe as well. And I'm going to have a small panel piece in here which is going to be number 1 and 10 volt. But the last section from there in here will be 664 and 30 volume, okay, in Noah, okay? So as you can see, they're only one shade, but the whole thing will have a nice warm hue, fashionable edge, very commercial, and you know, and being a Noah, it'll have high gloss. So it's basically working with the haircut. You know, colours at the moment, in what we're doing in Australia, are very high gloss, lots of block colour, and working with lots of features going through the hair. But it's always a thing. People want shiny, healthy hair. They'll pay a fortune for that, and that's what we need to deliver. Beautiful, fashionable hair with a twist. You know what I mean? You can't just have a global colour. It can't just look like a global. They'll do it themselves. You know what I mean? And today with technology, you've got to think, so if you have nice, interesting, yes, it is a global colour, but it's like, people say to me, Katarina, what colour did you put? I said, now that's Katarina's cocktail, so you can't have that. And never give away your cocktails, as I say. People say, I want my formula because I'm travelling overseas. Never give away your formulas. Never. So I'm going to start sectioning and get that mixed up, and then Adrian will start talking, and then I'll come back to you. Yes? Beautiful.
Okay. This is my model, Melanie. Melanie is actually one of our members of staff from our Fitzroy salon. She's actually grown her hair, but she actually didn't want to take too much off her. I wanted to make a difference to the shape. I wanted to show you some like what we do, like with the strong graphic lines. Yesterday it was all about texture and a little bit of wave. It was the same with the colour placement. The colour placement was like lots of panel work and stuff like that, what Katarina did. So today this is actually about, it's mainly about graphic shapes. I'll explain to you about Sarah's haircut once actually Katarina's completed the colour. But Sarah did actually have long hair. She arrived from Paris, and as soon as you turn around and say to somebody like, okay, I'm from France, she needed something French. She needed to bring out that Frenchness, if you know what I mean. So what we decided to do is to go for something like really quite eclectic, quite graphic shade. It's just a different form of graduation because, so believe it or believe it not, she has very, very curly hair. So we're just going to go like just down that path. Now, I've already started to actually do like just a little bit of pre-cutting on Melanie because Melanie's got curly hair as well. And obviously we know to like get graphic shapes it needs to be, you can start the basic part of the haircut, the foundation level when it's actually curly, but it needs to be smooth and polished. It's actually just been coloured as well, so we've just got a tiny little bit of electricity in there at the moment. We're a cold hairdryer and Crystal Gloss will hopefully sort that out, otherwise it's just going to be there and everywhere just with hairspray. So what I've started off with, it literally is a very, very simple technique. I started off with a triangular section through the top area here, which I've actually taken out. And then it's literally, and one of the things that you can actually work on this is you can actually work on it either, you can offset it, so it can like go across that way, or you can go across that way. Doesn't matter where it is, it doesn't have to be centralised. And then all we've done is literally just followed a normal graduated technique. So I wanted to really try and get this real strong curve that's going to happen through here, because she doesn't want to lose too much length. So I've actually just gone in, normal graduation technique, central panel parting, just straight through the thing. And so I'm not actually cutting on the skin. I tend to either cut on the comb, or I cut like just one finger depth away, and literally with my fingers on that angle. When we cut in a bob, we either like tend to go straight across, and I didn't want to do that because of Melanie's face shape and everything and the shape of her neck. I wanted to really accentuate this pointed line through here. Then what I've started to do, just on this front area, just in here, we're going to do a slightly disconnected panel through here, and then we're actually going to blend all this through. It's going to be done on like really shallow point cutting, and also just really, really technical, scissor work. The end result is literally going to be this really, really nice curved shape through here, slight disconnection through the side area to bring this beautiful colour out that Katarina's done, and then just some long, softer pieces just to sort of like keep it, so that Melanie feels as though she's got some length. For me, I could have gone really, really short and gone really, really graphic, but that's just not what she actually wanted, so back to Katarina.
Okay, so guys, I'm just applying my colour through here. We'll talk a lot more about Melanie's colour that we've done through there. And we've done basically, you know, using foil work, and I think that's really important. I love to use Magimesh, and I love Magimesh because I think it's a colour of the brain. Okay, and I really work with it a lot when I'm using it, and I use lots of different developers with it. And I find that by using different developers, one, I can do a lot of colour correction in one set of foils. So like in one long foil, by using different developers, I can really be very quick and efficient in the salon, so I can lift hair where I want. But also by using different developers, I can get variations in foils. And that's a really, really great way of doing it, especially if I'm pre-lightening. So what I've basically done with Melanie is I've gone through and I've done 3 different developers with Magimesh underneath first. So I've done Magimesh with 20, Magimesh with 30, Magimesh with 40, and alternated all the way through the hair. And we've done, Melanie, what did I call it?
Pivoting halo.
Yeah, I've been saying the word, I get confused. So it's basically foil work in a circle motion. Yeah? And I've just alternated, and it will work really well. So there's no start and finish with it, and that way it'll always fall really, really beautiful. And then basically rinsed it off, shampooed, and I've gone over and I've done a Noah, and I've done 646 a Noah over the top. Roots to ends, and it's really, really a beautiful, intense colour. I love 646 is probably one of my favourite colours. Not that I'm biased by anything, but you know, And 743 is probably one of my other really, really beautiful. 640 is not at the old, in the old one without, it's not out in the new one. That was really fantastic. So I find that the reds in a Noah are just magnificent because you get the intensity and you get shine, and I think that's really, really beautiful. Because natural redheads are generally curly and don't have shine. So, and I think that's the key thing that I love so much about Noah. And anyone that has coarse hair, I've only had one client out of all my clients that doesn't like a Noah, and the main reason is it makes her hair too soft. Yeah. It makes her hair, hello. And she says, Katerina, she was all for the whole new thing when it came out. And she goes, oh, babe, she goes, bring me back the chemicals. She said, I need the body. And I've gone, okay, that's fine. But it was, and she's a journalist. And she says, look, it's true what it says, but I just can't have it. Fair enough. But that's, key thing. A lot of people are scared of, changing from Majorelle. I found that even in the salon, like a lot of the colorists in the salons would say, oh, I'm really happy with Majorelle. Why do I need to change to a Noah? Because it's new, it's hot, it's the latest technology, and you have to grasp it. And I know it doesn't have, as much colours. It'll never take over from Majorelle, but it's definitely new, and you've got to get your clients into it as much as possible, and be behind it and not be frightened. And I keep, I always find that people say, oh, don't like change and don't like this. I said, clients like what you tell them. If you're confident and you believe in it, they're behind you because they come to you because you're a professional, and that's where it starts. It's as simple as that.
So with Melanie, with this front panel now, we're actually going to just start to work on this very, very slight disconnection. It's graduated because I don't want it to sit, like really, really harsh. So it's just really, really soft. And one of the things that you have to remember is when we're actually doing things like this. So how I started this one is actually just a back diagonal section, really, really finely. Slight elevation, not because if you actually pull it down, as you all know, you're just going to get like a really, really strong line. So what we need to do is we need to start to work on this slight elevation through the front area, getting higher and higher and higher, which is actually going to expose this line through here, which is going to connect in this area through here, and then we've got a disconnected panel in here, which we're actually going to just point cut and like seamlessly like just blend through to the sides. When we're actually working on this sort of sectioning pattern, we actually really need to work really, really cleanly and also really, really finely. You can actually do, literally when you're actually elevating, you can do a blunt haircut and actually like just drop it to make sure that your actual flow line is actually really nice. But once we've actually done that area there, I tend to like just move to the back of my haircut and literally just very, very softly just break it up. So it's really, really, really like sort of like jaggedy point, but not point cutting, because then if you lose the point cut, you'll actually lose the shape, because we don't want it to look like we just want it to be like just really, really soft and really, really blended.
Okay, just working through my next section. I really, when you're doing these colours and using reds, you do need to be careful, obviously, of root glow. The most important thing is to be quick and neat and tidy. I can't stress enough how it's got to be neat. Your sections, like a haircut, it's got to be straight, it's got to be neat, and your colour application has to be neat. When we teach, when we're training and cutting, we learn about straight sections, and one of the key things that I teach when I'm just like, if you learn to cut, you've got to have straight sections, so when you colour, you've got to have neat sections as well, and you have to be neat and tidy. And I also endorse that as well when I'm doing hair up or styling of long hair, that you must be neat and tidy. If I want angled sections, diagonal sections, or whatever, I expect them to be, and I expect them to be a certain size. And a lot of people say, you're so fussy. But you need to be fussy because I want it to be right. So you just practice what you preach, and it's important. And I think it's really important too that and you know yourself that when you're applying a colour in our salon, we do colour around the table. So we don't do it in front of a mirror. So we do the consultation in front of a mirror, and then we move to a colour table where they sit around, there's magazines, they've got their iPads, or whatever they want, and then we colour. So I'm on stage, I don't have a mirror to see what I'm doing, but it's important that it's really, that you're neat. You also probably have a little bit less space to work because it's like it's just a dining table. But clients really love it, and once they realise that no one really wants to look at themselves with goop in their hair and foil sticking out everywhere. They just want to sit down and relax. And it's quite a great way for a colourist to, as a colourist, I can control 6 colours really easily because it's all in one small area. And I can say to someone, you need to rinse that, watch that, and the clients feel quite relaxed because they know that I'm not on the other side of the salon. I'm right beside them, so I find that works really, really well. And we also have a colour bar that we mix our colour in the salons, where I think that colouring is an art and it's a chemistry, and we're proud of it, and we should show our clients what we're doing and not hide it. And that it also makes people making sure that they work neat and tidily, and everything's weighed and measured and really neat. So it shows the professionalism behind that as well.
Pushing imaginary buttons, step away from my lover, away from my lover. You got me counting imaginary school children, got away from my lover, away from my lover. Yes, I can see that your carpet is animated. Walk away from my lover, away from my lover. Yes, I see open wounds in everyone I dated. Away from my lover, yeah, away from my lover. I am no good for you. I'm seeing ghosts in everything I do. I am no good for you. I'm seeing ghosts in everything I do. I am no good for you. I'm seeing ghosts in everything I do. Oh, 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 oh. I am no good for you. I'm seeing ghosts in everything I do. Oh, 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 oh. You got me turning all the lights on and off. Walk away from my lover, away from my lover. When will you see that I am carrying this stuff? Walk away from my lover, away from my lover. Can't you see that I am losing my marbles? It's marvelous, losing another, losing another. I am no good for you. I'm seeing ghosts in everything I do. I am no good for you. I'm seeing ghosts in everything I do. I am no good for you. I'm seeing ghosts in everything I do.
With my little panel that I'm doing here, I've got black, white through, but as I'm going to come up to the top here, I'm going to do the red at the roots and then just have the black on the end. So I'm not going to have that just totally, so it blends through. I don't want it to be a big block on the top.
So the first two are black.
Yeah, and they were quite big because it's just like a tint, but they're quite big. And as I'm coming up here, I will tint the roots and just do black on the ends. So it'll blend through nicely.
All right, I'll just explain a little bit about what we've done. So now you can actually see what we're doing now is we're exposing these disconnected panels. I just didn't want it to be too much like a bob. I wanted it to have that real nice roundness to it. So we've gone through, we've done some really, really shallow point cutting, and literally when we're going to connect it in, it's a connection just by very, very softly. But then what I tend to do, because I actually want these pieces to be really aerated and really floaty, so it's something that I actually learned from a master, and it's actually, when you're actually doing some slice work, when you want it to be really floaty and you don't want it to be, because I see so many people that when they're going in and they're slicing, we've got like different areas of texturization. So we've got like the top area, which is like the first centimetre. We've got the mid band, which probably takes us down to about halfway, maybe about a third of the way like down the hair shaft. And then we've got another area through here that it takes you down even more. So when I'm actually, what I'm trying to do with Melanie's hair, and also I wanted to be able to wear this curly, so it's got to have, I can't cut it like really, really blunt, because then when it's curly, it's just going to sit like a hat. So I don't want it to do that. I want it to have some really, really nice textural pieces to it when it's curly. So what I'm actually doing, we've actually completed all the graphic through the disconnection, and now I'm just very, very softly connecting it in, very, very fine slices, and actually just extending over the opposite way. But one of the things that I actually do on it is to actually just blow on it, because what it does, when you blow like that, it just makes it really, really soft, and you can actually go in there, and your wrist action when you're using a slicing technique, if you blow on it, when I lift that up, I've actually got no lines in there. You know, like when we slice sometimes and we get like a bit of a lineage in there, and then when we drop it and then we've got that, and then we try to get that out, you don't get any of that with this whatsoever. What I'm going to do when I've completed Melanie's haircut, I'm going to take it away, iron it again really properly, and finish the completed look, because as you can see, it's just quite static at the moment. Now what I'm actually going to do with Melanie's hair, I actually want to leave this really, really lengthy through here, because what's going to happen is where we've got these shorter points on the underneath here, I'm still going to do like the blowy floaty thing, but I want to get like this sort of idea when it's actually completed. So we've got this really beautiful rounded shape, some soft disconnections, but then just really floaty, airy pieces. So, and it's absolutely working beautifully with the colour at the moment. Melanie's got, because like Melanie's actually got like the biggest cow's lick ever in the world. So we're not going with a fringe. So we're just going to keep it really, really soft.
Pushing imaginary buttons, step away from my lover, away from my lover. You got me counting imaginary school children. Get away from your lover, away from your lover. Yes, I can see that your carpet is animated. Walk away from your lover, away from your lover. Yes, I see open wounds in everyone I dated. Away from my lover, yeah, away from my lover. I am no good for you. I'm seeing ghosts in everything I do. I am no good for you. I'm seeing ghosts in everything I do. I am no good for you. I'm seeing ghosts in everything I do. Oh, 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 oh. I am no good for you. I'm seeing ghosts in everything I do.
Right, I'm going to take Melanie away now, iron it and everything, and get it all ready for you, so that we can showcase it after Katarina's as well with her next take. Alright,
You know, a lot of work. And you know, our mastermind of braiding, Kieran was up here yesterday. Yes, he spent well over an hour braiding that. And he was taking a lot of details, you know, from the US and a lot of braiding. So he was like, but it's basically what we've done, and this is the so we've basically cornrowed and then sewn this together, and then tied it off, and because we're going to add more to it. And I'm going to spin her around, and we've just done braided this back, and we've just got like jumbo hair, and we've just put the two plaits down here folded back up and stitched, and then we stitched the piece onto the front here, because you'll see why in a minute what's going to happen next. And then basically what we've done is, you know, lace. This was inspired by Spring Summer collection for L'Oreal, which we had to do for Malaysia, and it was lots of couture and lace and lots of embroidery, you know, and it was quite fun to do, and there was lots of that beautiful masking over the place. I think it looks really mysterious, and I just love it. And you get the opportunity, you've got to do it. Before we go on, you can more than welcome come up and take closer photos, but it does look quite impressive here as it is, you know, which is quite beautiful. That's her own hair there, that little skinny plait, so that's all she's got. So it's just got thin hair. So the jumbo hair obviously is just bulk, and also I needed like a crest to pin to. Yeah, that's what I really needed to do. Okay, come and take a seat down. And everybody, I'd just like to introduce you. So this is Aiden, part of one of my art teams. Aiden came to help yesterday and had the race off to the salon. So, and this is what we're going to add on here. So here we have a piece that's prepared, and as you can see, it's plaiting and fishtailing, and it's all been stitched and pinned together. And then we've got individual pieces that we've coloured, and then I've cut into tiny little pieces, and then just basically woven through to make like a lion crest. And what we've done is you see the elastic and needles all the way through there. I'll spin it around. Actually, we're going to do the tail first. And we'll put all the, but then we've got another piece here. And this is a braided, fishtail braided piece. And I'm going to extend it. And you can see it's got long pieces at the top. So what we actually do, and we're going to connect this on top of this. This is down, Stevie. So it goes, oh, so you can see some, but it's just connected to her hair. And we'll pin it just using U-pins, and we'll just go down. We just go down the fishtail and into the braid underneath. So.
Is that connect-along?
Sorry?
Is the whole tail made of connect-along?
It's, is it? Jumbo hair, we call it. What's Is that the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's because it's long and it's
Yeah.
fake,
Yeah.
it's cheap and it's
Yeah.
easy. Like if you're going to do something beautiful, then otherwise. Yeah.
I just go straight under, through, doesn't really, and then under the braid with my needle.
How are you making dresses, Karina?
I did do so. And right underneath.
Underneath the cornrow or
Underneath the cornrow. And then what you do is you pull.
Yeah.
And you just pull.
You give her Advil before.
Yeah. and then you just tie that off. And don't, because it's done on an 8 inch finger. Okay. And I bet you don't think this is really scissors, yeah?
Yeah, there's a razor right there.
Ah, is there?
Yeah. Where's your scissors, Heather?
Those other ones are sure. And then so we've got 3 of them, so we just do the next one.
It's not that bad.
No. So you can just thread, and then the bottom one obviously goes right through down the bottom. So the elastic is quite, it hurts like when I'm pulling, and then as I relax it, I relax it a little.
That's why her face is to the wall.
Smile now, it makes fun.
Looks Malaysian now.
Yeah. But very simple, yes?
Yeah.
Very simple.
Yep, there's
And then
no-
when she turns around,
Stops crying.
I'll just give her a tissue. We'll give her a quick tissue. Give her a quick tissue and we spin her around. So it's quite effective and simple. I think it looks amazing, and lots and lots of hours in preparation. But really, it's the final bit. Stand up, Susan. Don't sit down with the chair, and then just turn sideways. But now that you're up close and personal, you can see the elastic. But on a big stage, you can't. You could never see it, and you can imagine it just looks.
So just to recap on Melanie's haircut, all I've literally done is just like taking a little bit of an extension into this fringe, just through here, so that we've got this really nice shape through. Underneath here we can see all this like beautiful disconnection in here, and then literally, it doesn't matter how, this is a haircut that you can actually sell to your clients, that you can actually like wear back, and you can actually like make it into a short haircut. Doesn't matter how you actually wear it. When this is curly, this will be really beautiful as well. This really soft disconnection through here into just like your floating pieces. You can make it as big as you want. You can just play with it. Doesn't really matter. It's just really, and it's a simple haircut to do as well.
And you can also see the colour work.
The colour's just beautiful.
And how it comes through. Obviously, you know, the 40 volume is the lighter one. And remember that, you know, it's a warm base that we put on the top. So we really want to keep some gold when you pre-lighten, and that's one of the reasons I use Maggie Mesh. The other thing is this, if you have really fine hair, having the highlights through will just give us so much more body. Yeah, and you know, or if it's very thick hair, having the light through there gives her another dimension. So this is what we did in Malaysia. We put lights in it, and when we're on stage, we actually cut the accents on stage, and I had it all pinned up high, and then we
Higher.
Higher.
We had these pinned up higher and dropped down like a veil, and then they've got to turn the lights on. But you can see it's just theatrical. It's just something to show. Can you do a little bit of a spin for us? It has about 10 packets of hair extensions in there. And we only, as you can see, it's quite. Our young model here doesn't really have a lot of hair, so we didn't have a lot of hair put underneath it to secure. But thank God she doesn't have to walk the runway. But I just wanted to show you some of our spectacular pieces.